Hey, and welcome to this fourth episode of my natural bodybuilding competition prep series. This is week number 9. Before I dive into the update, please go ahead and like the video if you like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you want to continue to follow me on my prep journey as well. Just liking the video even is really helpful in supporting the channel. So thank you for that. But anyways, let's go ahead and dive into the update here. So I guess first and foremost, the last week or so has been pretty uneventful. And to be perfectly honest, within a bodybuilding competition prep, the vast majority of it is going to be pretty uneventful. You kind of just do the same things over and over and over again. So training, for example, I'm still training my regular 5 days a week. Training frequency stays the same. I still love it, even though it is kind of repetitive. I still love it because you still go in with the intention of performing better and improving upon your technique. I love that. Like, I kind of love that grind and having the opportunity to get better at something. So I really love that. And then same thing with the nutrition. It's kind of just rinse and repeat. Like, I made myself a meal plan following my nutrition parameters to lead me to the fat loss that we're aiming for. And then it's just a matter of rinse and repeat. I am a creature of habit, so I really like having the same meals to rotate through on a regular basis and just kind of have that run in autopilot, kind of in the background of my life. I really like knowing what I'm going to eat all the time. And hey, I really like all my meals, so I have nothing to complain about. Tastes really good to me. So yeah, I'm just more or less doing the same things and aiming to see more progress each week, which actually brings me to my next point, which is, as far as weight loss goes, there has not been a lot of progress over the last week. So when I came back from my vacation last week, I reached a new low that last week it was 196.6. And then just today, my low for this week is the exact same. It's 196.6. It spiked up a little bit and kind of fluctuated around there, and now it's back down to 196.6. So as far as overall weight loss goes, I did not make any more progress there, but that's okay. Especially considering when I came back from my trip and I lost that like 4 or 5 pounds all within that week, which is crazy. I probably came back like pretty depleted. So coming back to my regular eating routine, my regular meals might have kind of filled my physique up a little bit more. So just the fact that I didn't spike in an increase of weight, and rather I just kind of stayed the same at that low, that 4 or 5 pound drop is actually probably a good sign. I could have actually lost more fat even though my weight stayed the same, so that's good. But that being said, I got talked to Jeff today, and we are changing my nutrition parameters to keep pressing on and being assertive with continuing weight loss from this point and continued fat loss. So we're going to accelerate things just a hair here, be assertive. So I am dropping my calories a little bit more moving forward. So I'm going to say bye to several hundred calories, a few hundred calories per day, and hopes that I continue the path to get as shredded as I possibly can at a rate that makes sense. So I am making those changes starting today. I've already started them. So I'm excited to see how I continue progressing moving forward. At this point, I'm just I'm just excited about making progress. I'm completely happy and open to taking calories off as is advised, so that I keep making progress, because hey, I really want to make progress. This is why this is so fun for me. I like seeing the changes along the way. So hey, I got that to look forward to from this point, having just implemented some new calorie changes. My next video, my plan is to go through what I'm eating every day to get shredded. So hopefully that's of interest to you. If you are interested, please stick around for that video. I'm going to kind of go through what I eat on a regular basis, and maybe I'll talk more about why I'm eating it and how it's fitting into my nutrition parameters. I'll talk more about my nutrition parameters, and then maybe we'll go from there. But yeah, so I'll be talking about that next week. That all being said, the last week, not terribly eventful, just been doing the same things, going for my walks every day, been training regularly, been rinse and repeating as far as eating my meals goes. And yeah, we are making more nutrition changes today, and we'll see how that changes things over the next week or so. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and switch things over to showing my last several days of training at the gym, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. Thank you again for watching, by the way, guys. Here is my training footage. All right, so we're starting off with these dumbbell Romanian deadlifts. I'm really loving them ever since I changed them. I think that was around mid-December, and one of the main reasons I'm liking them is because they allow for such a large range of motion. I also really love the barbell Romanian deadlifts, but with the dumbbells, the dumbbells themselves are they're not as tall, they're not as wide compared to the plates that you typically put on a barbell. The plates on the barbell will kind of limit your range of motion, your capacity to move with as much of a range of motion, because the barbell plates will hit the floor sooner versus doing them with these dumbbells where they're not as wide. So I can actually move lower without the dumbbells hitting the floor until I'm like, my arms or my hands are pretty much at the ground. So it's really awesome for me because I'm able to move with a very large range of motion, so I can train that whole range of motion and potentially stimulate for as much muscle growth as possible. So I'm really loving those. Here are some flat barbell bench presses. Felt a lot better this week than it did last week. Not that it felt terrible last week. It's just last week was the first week back I was back from vacation, and I didn't do any flat barbell bench press when I was on vacation. So when I came back, it felt like a little bit of a shock to the system since I just hadn't been doing it. But here we are. This is the second session since being on vacation that I've done these, and my body already feels like it's getting back into the groove of doing this exercise. In particular, I actually got a rep back. I did an extra rep compared to what I did last week. Felt pretty smooth. The only thing is, in this gym, see how the lights on the ceiling there? Every time that I do a set on there, I feel like I'm going to be blinded by the lights. I'm honestly thinking about bringing sunglasses into the gym just to put on while I'm doing the bench press. So when I look up, I don't see stars. Well, not see stars, but you know, when you look at something bright, you can kind of still see something bright even when you're not looking at it. But anyways, might have to get some sunglasses for that. Here are these dumbbell bent over rows. This is turning out to be one of my favorite exercises in this whole program, my whole program. I do like rows. I like all variations of rows, but this one is just hitting just the right way. It's like when I'm at the bottom of each rep, it feels like I'm getting like just the right amount of stretch, like in my lats and in my kind of upper back musculature. And I'm feeling like just enough of that squeeze at the top. It just, everything is feeling right with it. It's really hard. Like it's definitely a willpower game, even just to stay in that bent over position for as long as possible. But yeah, and then you finish the set, at least for me, and then I kind of feel like just a big pump in my my whole back. Like even my lower back is working hard too. But yeah, right across the board, all the musculature of my back is just feeling a big old pump, and the bodybuilder inside of me loves that feeling, and that feeling of tension that I'm aiming for. And so I love the exercise. I'm going to keep that in the program for as long as possible. Here are some good old tricep push downs here. I'm using the rope. It feels, I mean, the rope versus other attachments, it just feels good for me. Like nothing feels like it's going against the grain. I might experiment, actually. There's another attachment in the gym that I might actually try the next time. But I'm using the rope in opposed to like a V-bar or straight bar or another attachment there, another grip, because it feels best on that area of my elbow that I was talking about. A lot of my training is actually revolving around that past nagging injury. So just the kind of the grip feels best on that nagging pain. It feels good to the sense that I can't feel the nagging pain. So, and that nagging pain, by the way, is so much better. It's still there. I know it's still there, but it's always getting better now, which is very hopeful for me. I think a part of me is kind of expecting that I'll feel it to some extent for the entire prep until I'm eating in a surplus again. But we'll see. The pain might completely go away in the next couple months, which would be good. But hey, it's okay if it doesn't, because my training is still going really well with it. From my experience big part about training with the intention of pushing your limits is kind of maneuvering around those nagging pains that are going to come up. So it's not a big deal. But anyways, here are some offset incline dumbbell curls here. Well, they're not really offset, but they're incline dumbbell curls. I love these. These are the only isolation biceps exercise in my program, by the way. The reason I like them is because of when you're sitting on this incline, you see how my arm is placed behind my back. That actually allows my bicep to be more elongated than, say, if it's like directly at your side at the bottom of each rep, or like out in front of you, like if you're doing a preacher curl. Your bicep is attached at the shoulder as well as the elbow, and for it to be completely elongated, that means that your arm needs to actually be behind your body a little bit. So at the bottom of each rep, I'm maximally stretching out my bicep, which for a lot of people that doesn't happen. That's not included in a program, and a lot of the best stimulus that you'll get for muscle growth is when your muscle is experiencing mechanical tension in that super elongated position. So yeah, and holy crap, man, like you can feel it. Like when we're talking about big pumps, like you feel a huge pump. Plus there's this extra feeling. It's like you almost can imagine like muscle fibers kind of tearing, like that feeling. And it sounds terrible, but that's the feeling. It's like when I get to the end of a set, I'm moving slow on the way down. It's like I can feel that in the bicep, which is kind of hard to do sometimes, but it's pretty unique in that exercise for me. And so yeah, I love it. It's the only exercise, bicep exercise I'm doing. Here are some Bulgarian split squats from a deficit. I'm going to keep this setup. Out of all the setups I've done at this gym, this is my favorite. And actually looking back, this is kind of cool. I'm actually really happy with the amount of depth that I'm able to get here. It feels great on the joints. Very, very challenging. But yeah, when we're talking about like fully elongating the muscle, like stretching it out as much as possible, I'm moving with as much range of motion as I can, and I really like that I'm getting in that low spot, and like I can feel it in the quads, the glutes, even part of the hamstring. Part of the hamstring is stimulated when you do this. It's kind of part of the hamstring underneath your glute there. Really like this fly machine too. The resistance curve feels a little bit different than a lot of the other ones, in that like the top part of the rep with this machine feels like the hardest part of the rep, which is kind of cool. Not all machines are like that, so definitely keeping this in the program. Really like it. Another exercise where I get a big old chest pump afterwards, which again, my inner bodybuilder just loves. Anyways, this is concluding my video here. Thank you again so much for watching. Please like the video if you like it. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel as well if you want to continue following along on my prep journey. I really appreciate you here and spending some time following me. But anyways, yeah, stay tuned for next week. I'm going to go through what my meals are like and how I'm approaching my nutrition through this prep. So stay tuned for them. But anyways, thanks again, and I'll see you then.